Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So I want to jump right into this deep dive on the auto grant. It has come to my attention that there are YouTubers out there who are telling people that to be granted the auto grant, you simply just need to apply. And I want to take a deeper dive into this, show you the auto grant, show you the benefits of the auto grant, the application for the auto grant to show you that's not how that works. Okay. So the first thing I want to start with is my actual e-benefits page. All right. I'm not going to show you like all my info and stuff like that, but I want to show you where on e-benefits that if you qualify for the auto grant, where you can actually see it and how they coincide with special monthly compensation. Now, what you're seeing on the screen right now is my e-benefits page. Just right here, if you click, you go to benefits, right? It's going to bring you to additional benefits. And we talked about this before. These are my current additional benefits, okay? You see special monthly compensation benefit. You see supplementary benefits. Supplementary benefits, if you have this on e-benefits, okay, that is education assistant. That's for my kids and any spouse to go to school, okay? The special adaptive housing grant, we've gone through that, and it works the same way as the auto grant and adaptive equipment. This is how you know you qualify for these benefits. It is on your benefits list. So when you go to apply for something, right, like the education benefit, they already been approved. This is stuff that's already approved. I don't have to apply because this stuff was in my award letter. I didn't have to put in an application to the Department of Veterans Affairs to say, hey, I want to apply for the auto grant. It doesn't work like that. In your award letter, normally, now I'm not saying the VA is perfect and they haven't made mistakes and this wasn't in there when it should have been in there, right? Because sometimes you can find it on your award letter, but it may not be here. And that's just a simple thing of taking it down to your local office, giving it to them, and then they'll apply it. But the auto grant, the housing grant, these are not grants that you simply put an application in for and get. These are things you're given because your disabilities say that you are so disabled that you need special monthly compensation, which is up here, which is how you end up getting these disabilities down here. Now, the education assistant program, you're 100% PNT, you'll have this one. But if you're not normally in the special monthly compensation category, then you won't have either one of these two. Okay, so let's get out of that. And then let's actually go to the application, because once again, there are people online, and I'm gonna go through this a little bit more, but there are people online who are really not interested in giving you guys the truth. They're more interested in them getting clicks, likes, and subscribers, because that's the name of the game with YouTube. The more people who watch, the more people I can get to like and watch my videos, the more money they make. So let's go to the application. All right. If you go to the application, this is the application. Now, the one thing I need you guys to understand once again with the auto grant, you qualify for the auto grant through your disabilities. It's not through the application. Now, there's been many people who have filled out this application, this basic part here, and then you get to, I'm sorry, I thought I had it up. My apologies. Let me pull up this so you can see what I'm talking about. So the application is 21-4502. This is the application for the auto grant. Okay. Here's what I need y'all to understand about this application. All right. This application is not to apply to the VA. This application is actually the completion of the vehicle you're getting ready to purchase. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. This actual application, if you look at the application, because this is just the basic part, all your info, right? This right here is where the rubber meets the road, because this is how you're eligible for the auto grant. You need loss of use, okay? Loss of use, impaired vision, severe burns, or ALS. If you don't have anything here in this section that you click off, you certify, you sign, you date, you will not get anything. The reason why is because this next line right here is for the dealer. This is not for the VA. This is not a normal application you send to Comp and Pen, and then Comp and Pen goes, okay, yeah, we're going to go ahead and give it to you. You qualify, and then they're going to turn around and send you this very same application for you to take to a dealer. No, this application is used after you've been approved for the auto grant. Once you've been awarded the auto grant, they send you this application for you to take to the dealer. That's what this is right here. The dealer fills out, you find a car that you like, right? Say you find a car that's $20,000, just using that for an example. The dealer will then put the model number, the year, the VIN number, all the stuff about the car, the amount is going to cost after taxes and everything, right? You sign it, you date it. The dealer that has done this before will normally mail it to prosthetics, or you can hand take it to prosthetics. In about a month to 90 days, prosthetics will then send a check to the dealer, and the dealer will call you to come pick up your vehicle. That's how that works with the auto grant. Now, if you need the adaptive equipment, that's totally different. You get that for life. You can go back and get that switched up several times, okay? But I want to be clear with this because, again, on YouTube, people are just saying things to get you to watch, okay? If you take this application, let's take someone who just fills out this application, okay? And you give this to Comp and Pen. What happens? They're going to get this application. They're going to see none of this has been completed. And what do you think they're going to do with it? Nothing. It's just going to sit, because they know if you didn't fill out any of this, you didn't take it to the dealer to get any of this, you don't qualify. You don't qualify, because when you qualify for this and you ask for the application, when you talk to them over the phone, they're going to tell you, you can find a vehicle that's at your maximum amount, whatever the auto grant is now, or you can use that as a down payment to get something else, and you finance it or you pay for it with cash or whatever way you're going to do it. But you can't believe everything these people tell you all, because they're just saying it. Anybody can say anything online. That doesn't mean that it's true. Okay. And I'm really trying to break this down, man, because I understand. I understand that sometimes when we're watching YouTube, some people make us feel so good and they're telling us something that we want to hear and we believe it. But what happens though when you send in that application and you never hear back from the VA and you're going, well, I don't understand. They've never replied to me. Because you don't qualify. You have to qualify for the auto grant. It is not something you simply apply for. This application is the finished product. This is not how you get the benefit. This is how you get the vehicle. Hopefully that's clear. Okay, and I'm going to go over again the qualifications for the auto grant, right? It is plain as day. It is in black and white. It's on the VA's website. You know, some guy online saying it's not true does not change the fact that you still have to qualify. It's just what it is, right? And it gives you right here. Here's the list. If you don't have any of these things, which is loss of use, impaired in vision, burns, ALS, problems with the hips and knees, so on and so forth, and it be service connected, all these have to be service connected. It can't be after the fact, right? And you're like, well, I have this, but it's not service connected. The VA is not going to give it to you. So if you don't have anything here, there's no point of even talking about the auto grant, because you'll never get it. That's just facts. It's the same way with the housing grant. If you're not in the SMC category, more than likely, you're not going to have any of these things, period. Okay. Another example I'll give you guys to let you know that a lot of this is marketing, right? Take the stimulus, for example. How many channels were built off the stimulus? When was the last time people got a stimulus check? Right? But there are still channels out there that tell people every day they got a stimulus check coming from the government. Now, there are some states that sent out stimulus checks, but there are channels out there, 200, 300,000 subscribers, that have people watch every day hoping that what this guy says is true. They're hanging on to something where it's like, okay, he says there's a stimulus check coming. He didn't say when it was coming. He just said it was coming. It's like a TV evangelist. You keep donating to my church, eventually you'll get your reward. Well, as long as I keep stringing you along with hope, you'll keep watching. You'll keep believing. Even though you know what he's saying is probably not true, but because you like the person, because they're giving you something that you want to believe, people will still take that for whatever reason and say, okay, well, he said it's true, I'm going to apply. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You know, all those people who's listening to YouTubers tell them to just take this application and apply. The VA is not going to even, most of the time, they're not going to even acknowledge that application because for one, it's not completed. And for two, they're not going to have anything in the second part of the application that qualifies them for the grant. So when you put in an application like this and people go, well, why didn't they reply? It's not a completed application. You don't have a qualifying disability. They pull up your social. You don't have anything on the criteria. Why would they reply to it? They're just going to take it and throw it in the trash. They're not going to waste their time with it. So when it comes to the auto grant, when it comes to adaptive housing grant, I want to be clear with this. You will know if you qualify because it will be in your award letter. Those are not things that you got to put an application in for to get normally. Those are things that you've already been granted, and that application is the finished product. Okay? Same with the housing grant. Now, with the housing grant, depending, like you can start out with one on the housing grant and your disabilities have gotten worse. And now you may be able to move to a different one. And again, with the housing grant, it's not like there's an application that you fill out to apply for the housing grant. You've already been awarded the housing grant. So all you're doing, because I get a letter every year. Every year, contractors send me out a letter asking me, am I ready to use my housing grant? Every year, every single year. And those of you who qualify and you've never used yours, or you used part of yours, you get that same email at the beginning of every year. Are you ready to use your housing grant? That's how that works, ladies and gentlemen. I know that's not what some of y'all wanted to hear. I know that's not probably what a lot of people wanted to hear. This guy is saying I can just apply and I'll get this $21,500 auto grant. No, that's not how that works. What's going on, family man? How you doing? What's up, Barry? How's it going today? And we'll probably talk about this a little bit more later on with the Saturday roll call. But I wanted to do this video separate, man, so people can see it for themselves. You go to e-benefits, you go to additional benefits. If you don't see any of those things in your additional benefits, you don't qualify for them. You don't have loss of use. You don't have any of those things. It's not going to happen, regardless of who tells you what online. You know, if you don't qualify with the basics, they're not going any farther than that. What's up, K-Mac? Talking to Barry. Drop foot counts for loss of use. Yes. And I've gone through this before now. It's all going to depend on your percentage. You must have a minimum of 40% for loss of use. If you could be 30% all day long, 20%, they say I got foot drop. Okay, what's your rating? If your rating is not at least 40% minimum, they're not going to give it to you. You could have drop foot, you could have whatever, and they can say, oh yeah, you've lost the ability to do this. But if your rating is not 40% at a minimum or higher, you're not going to get it. I'm just, those are the facts, man. Y'all can get mad and say, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. Call the VA, 1-800-827-1000. Tell them your rating, or ask them to look at your rating and see if you qualify for the auto grant. They're going to tell you, if you don't have anything at minimum of 40% for loss of use, you're not going to get it. Salute, blessings, Team Mix. You talking to Team Mix? Staying warm and still here. He's talking to each other. Okay, cool. Now, are there any other questions when it comes to the auto grant or the housing grant? Because I'll pull it up right here, just like I showed y'all additional benefits on my e-benefits account. If you're not in the SMC category, more than likely, you will not qualify for either grant. They kind of go hand in hand, okay? Especially when it comes to loss of use. If you have like multiple SMCK awards, all right? Like I have 2 different SMCK awards in special monthly compensation. I get aid and attendance on the compensation side, not caregiver, not pension. Those are different. And I'm going to do a deep dive probably Monday or Wednesday on the different types and show the applications and show that there's 3 different types. People are still confused when it comes to that, just like this. So hopefully this is clear. I'm going to say this one more time. If you are not in the SMC category, meaning special monthly compensation category, more than likely you don't qualify for any of the things I just covered today, which is the housing grant or the auto grant. It is not, that application is not to apply for compensation to give it to you. That application is to apply to get the check for the vehicle. That's what that application is for. If you actually go to fill this application out, and I'll pull it up again, and you actually read what's on the application, you will clearly see this is not an application asking for the benefit. This is an application to actually get the vehicle. This is what this guy and other people online are not telling you all. This part of the application right here for eligibility, if you don't meet any of these qualifications, what you wrote here, what you signed here means absolutely nothing. And here are the instructions that will tell you the exact same thing. Forget what they're telling you online. Read this. Okay, you have this page and you have this for the adaptive grant. I'm sorry, adaptive equipment, which is totally different. You can get adaptive equipment multiple times, many times. As you change vehicles and you got to change the equipment you got in that vehicle, you can go back and get more of this. Is more than one time. The vehicle, the actual grant for the vehicle is only one time in your lifetime. That's it. That is it. There is no ifs, ands, or buts when it comes to this. All right. Now, are there any other questions when it comes to that? Appreciate it. Let's see. So there are 2 different SMCs. No, there's okay, SMC breaks down really to 3 components: loss of use, caregiver, loss of use, make sure I tell you right, loss of use, housebound, caregiver. Those are really the only 3 components to special monthly compensation. Where it gets complicated is the type of disability that you have. What do you need? Like if you're so severe, so disabled, right, that you can't do anything, then that's going to put you in a much higher tier when it comes to aid and attendance. If you are housebound, you got to be in your bed a certain amount of time, or you've been prescribed bed rest so many days out of the week, so many days in a month. Okay, that's SMCS. Loss of use, anything loss of use is SMCK. But when it comes to aid and attendance, you got the basic, which is L1, which is like another $750, and it can go all the way up to R2, which is, I believe, is another, I think it's 9,000 on top of what you already get. Okay, so there's people out there that's getting that, but yeah, they trade your life for their life. Trust me, because they getting that kind of money, they can't do much. They ain't doing much. But there are 3 different types. Matter of fact, let's pull that up so we can get that out of the way, because I'm sure someone's going to ask. Let me go to the search engine, SMC. And again, you need qualifying disabilities in order to get into the SMC category. Why do I see all the old ones? Where are the new ones? Oh, okay. Here are the new ones. So special monthly compensation, right? These are the current rates. For K is basic. You getting K. Q they haven't given since 1968. But here's K. This is the current amount for SMCK, $128.62. Right? And then for housebound, because this is L through N, and then you have N and a half SMCS. Now, SMCS is for housebound. So if you're a veteran alone, besides what you're currently getting, this is the extra you would get as a single veteran, $4,054.12 with SMC added onto it, SMCS added onto it. All these other ones, though, from like here, N and a half to R-T, you alone, you're not married, no kids, $10,365.53 a month. This is what that veteran would get to get R-T, R.2 or SMCT, which is usually people who have that's mental. What do you can't think of it? Like people who have, what do you call it? Traumatic brain injuries. That's what it is. That's what T is. Okay. This is what some veterans are getting. Okay. And then it goes up. You got a spouse, so on and so forth. Now, and then these are additional. Now, this is the early start. Like if you need aid and attendance, but you're not as severe as those people on the higher end, then this is where you would be. It will start with SMCL and go all the way to N. But once you get from N, then that's when you go N and a half all the way up to R.2 or SMCT. All right. But to qualify for this, most people are not going to qualify for this because most people don't fall into these categories. That's why these are called special monthly compensation. All right. Hopefully that's clear. So you have to be service connected. Number one, doesn't matter. You were in an accident after service and you suffered a traumatic brain injury. And now you're like, okay, well, I'm going to apply for this for the VA with the VA. And as you've been out of the military for 20 years, no, they're not going to give you that because you now have it. It didn't happen in service. It has to happen in service. Service medically connected. Yes. Now, if you're applying for Social Security and that happened to you 20 years outside, Social Security needs to know that. But as far as the VA is concerned, no, they don't need to know that. But that's what all of this means, guys. It doesn't mean that any and everybody can apply. And again, these are not normally things you apply for. These are benefits you qualify for based upon your service-connected disabilities. It's not an application that says, okay, I think I got SMCL. And they're going to go based on what? What rating or what disability that you have says you qualify for SMCL or SMCK, which is the lowest one. And that's for loss of use. And that's all they give you for loss of use, $128.52. But you do qualify for the auto grant because if you're getting SMCK, now I want to make this clear. If you're getting SMCK, that means that your disability, that your rating is at least 40% or higher. and you qualify, depending on what it is, right, for the auto grant. So if you got loss of use of your hand, it can be one hand or both hands, and it doesn't matter which hand, right or left. Same with your foot. Most people will say, okay, I still have my right foot, but my problem's with my left foot. That doesn't matter, because it's either left foot, right foot, or it can be both feet. It doesn't matter. It just says loss of use. Okay. What's up? Let's see. Yeah, we're still doing it tonight, man. I just wanted to take a deep dive in the auto grant, explain the auto grant process, show the application, show the qualifications, and show that the auto grant is an award that is given by the VA. It is not something that you apply for with the application. The application is just to complete the purchase of the vehicle. It is not to apply for the auto grant, just like the housing grant. The housing grant is not, the application is not for you to say, I want to apply for the housing grant, and then you send that in. No, that application is the completion of the housing grant, meaning you're actually going to use whatever amount on your home. That's what those applications are for. He is explaining it backwards, and people are getting confused and thinking they're actually going to get the grant. That's not how it works. No, you do not apply for SMC. No. Once again, SMC is an award based upon your disability. If you have a high enough disability rating to put you in the SMC category, now I'm not saying that the mistakes are not made. They do make a lot of mistakes. They do. Sometimes things get overlooked. Sometimes things are not put down that you're supposed to have. And sometimes they get caught later on. It might be 20, 30 years later. But normally, these are not things you apply for. These are things you are awarded based upon your disability. Okay, what's your question? Because I think that's really where confusion comes in. Is people see these things and they go, well, I want to apply for this. You don't apply for it. You were awarded it based on your disability. Now, I know there's someone out there who's probably 100% PTSD, and they're going, okay, I'm 100 and I'm not in the SMC category. Okay, well, your psychiatrist or your doctor has to be the one that writes up something that says you need this based upon whatever it is. Because there are people out there who are 100% that can still function. As long as they're taking their medication, they can still function. And as long as you can still function, then they're not going to award you something and you're functioning as normal as long as you take your medication, whether you're 100% or not. That's just a fact. There are tons of people out there right now, you guys would never know, 100% PTSD, 100%. But as long as they're taking their medication, they're fine. They do everything else anybody else can do. Now, the ones who are 100% PTSD and they're really not cognitive of what's going on around them, right? They can't take care of themselves at all. People in those situations, yeah, they get awarded aid and attendance because they need somebody to help them. But if you can physically do everything on your own, you can put on your own clothes, iron your own shoes, do all this stuff, they're not going to give you that because you functionally can do everything. You have this issue and we're giving you this medication, but we're not going to give you anything other than that. Okay, I'm going to say this again. I want to repeat what I said again, sir. Listen to me very carefully. What is your rating? Listen to me when I'm asking you this question, okay? What is your rating? If your rating for drop foot is not a minimum of 40%, it doesn't matter what they give you. If you don't have a minimum of 40% for drop foot, you will not get it, period. 30, 20, 10 with an AFO is not a qualifying disability. It's not. I'm sure you'd applied. And when you applied, you either got you don't qualify or they didn't respond at all. Because I'm telling you based upon my own experience and what the rule actually says. You have to be a minimum of 40%. Period. There is no ifs, ands, or buts when it comes to that. Doesn't matter if you got an AFO. Doesn't matter if they fuse your bone and they gave you 30%. You don't qualify. Period. And they know this. This is why they do that. They're not purposely. They're not giving everybody the 40% because they know everybody will go out and get the auto grant. I have 1, 2, 3 different ratings for the same leg. One of them just happens to be 40% for foot drop. That 40% is how I was able to get it. My other rating for my ankle is 30. Can't get nothing other than what I already got for 30%. That's it. And I have a custom-made AFO to fit underneath my unloaded brace that's on my left knee. I'm not making this up. I'm not telling you something that they won't tell you. Call 1-800-827-1000 and ask them. They will tell you. Go down to Comp and Pen, sit there for 10 minutes, talk to a VSO officer, and they'll tell you. You'll go in and say, hey, man, I got an AFO. I got drop foot. First question they're going to ask you, what is your rating? What are you rated at? And then when you say, I'm 30%, you need to be 40 at a minimum. That's exactly what they're going to tell you, word for word. All right. Are there any? I'm sorry. I know that's not what you want to hear. And maybe my delivery, the way I'm telling you, is probably a little harsh. But I'd rather tell you guys the truth than to string you along and tell you a lie. And you sitting there hoping and wishing for the next year to 2 years for something that's just not going to happen. And like I say, I'm sure there's plenty of you guys who have applied for this based upon something you heard or something you watched on YouTube of people telling you, yeah, you can get this. Not if you don't have the rating. So, sir, let me ask you, what is your rating? What is your rating? Forget the AFO. Forget that they call it foot drop. What is your rating? That's all I need to know, what your rating is. Because if you're telling me your rating is 40, 50, 60%, you need to go down there Monday to the Comp and Pen office and tell them this is a mistake. You should have been awarded this benefit a long time ago. But if you got anything less than 40%, doesn't matter what you go and tell them, until you get that rating to 40% minimum, they're not going to give it to you. So who out there has foot drop, feel like they should get it based on the AFO, but what is your rating? That's what I want to know. What your rating is. Put it in the comment section. What is your rating? That will explain and tell you right then and there why you're not getting it. It is what it is, guys. I can't change it. I can't sugarcoat it. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you, well, maybe if you do this and no, it is what it is. It's in black and white. It's all over the VA's website. And, thinking that an AFO is going to change that? No, it's not. Let's see. I will check. Plus, I have a BVA case ongoing. Bro, you don't know what your rating is? Come on now. You should know what your rating is. I know what each one of my rating is. All right. For whatever I got. You got a BVA ongoing case, that's fine. But if you don't, whatever you're saying you getting the AFO for, you should know the rating for. And even with a BVA case, hopefully it ain't for foot drop. Because if they don't grant you that at least 40%, yeah, that's not, it is what it is. But you guys should know what your ratings are. All you guys don't know what your ratings are? Like, you don't know, like, okay, I'm service connected for a shoulder. This is for an example. I'm service connected for my shoulder. You don't know what your rating is for your shoulder? Whether you 10%, 20%, 30%? Come on, y'all. Those are things you need to know, especially if you're trying to get to 100% and you applying saying, hey, okay, I need to get an increase to 100. Well, you need to know what all is involved to get to 100, because just I'm applying for an increase because I'm trying to get to 100, and they give you 10%, and your rating doesn't change, and you don't understand why. And we've gone through VA math, guys. You got to know what your ratings are on each individual rating. You should know what your ratings are. You should know what your actual number is for VA purposes, not just, okay, I'm 60 here, I'm 20 here. What is your actual rating number? Are you 85% total, 83% total? Yeah, those are things you would want to know. Seriously, if you're trying to get to 100%, you want to know, all right, well, I'm 60, I'm trying to get to 70, and your 60 is 56. That's how you got to 60. You're thinking you're 60, 65, you get 10% more, that move you to 70. No, you won't move at all. You won't move at all. That's why you want to know these things. All right, any other questions, guys? Any other questions? 100, that's fine being 100 for multiple issues, but each individual one is how you can figure out whether or not, if you do get this increase, it puts you into the SMC category versus whatever it is you're filing for BBA. Okay, this is another way to find out this is another way, if you're close enough, to get you into the SMC category versus I have all these disabilities. Okay, does any of them close enough to get you into the SMC category to get you the auto grant or to get you the housing grant? That's the reason why I bring that up, and why you would want to know what is my actual rating. Like, there's some people who have a single rating of 100%, and then they got a bunch of other ratings that fall under that, right? So I'm a little different. I want to know what my ratings are. I want to know, okay, if I get to this point, what does that do for me? As my disabilities get worse, what else am I qualified for? Or what else am I or my family entitled to as this get worse? I mean, that's part of it. You want to know those things, or at least I would hope you would want to know those things. But just to put a button on this discussion and end this like this, if you are applying for the auto grant, first of all, that's not something you apply for. That's something you are awarded. Same with the housing grant. You don't apply for the housing grant. The housing grant, you've already been awarded. You apply to use the benefit. The auto grant, that application is to actually purchase the vehicle. It is not to apply for the grant. That is already awarded. Now, if you can show the VA where they made a mistake, that's totally different, right? If you have drop foot at 40%, minimum 40%, and you go in and you go, hey, I have this, why wasn't I awarded this? That's completely different. But if you're thinking as just being 100%, P&T, IU, whatever, that you qualify for that benefit based on what? Because if you don't have any of the qualifying, and I'll show this one last time, if you don't have any of the qualifying disabilities for the grant itself, oops, I'm on the wrong one. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Because it doesn't matter what some guy tells you online. It doesn't matter what I'm telling you online. I'm telling you to call the 800 number. I'm telling you to go to Comp and Pen as someone who purchased my BMW with this very grant. If you don't have anything here in this section, right here, it doesn't matter what they tell you. If you don't have anything here, you're not going to get it, period. And this is to purchase the vehicle. As you see right here, receipt for automobile or conveyance and adaptive equipment. This part is filled out by the dealer. So I don't understand why he even telling you guys to put an application in, because if all you do is fill out this part and you don't fill out anything else, that's not even a completed application. They're going to just throw it in the trash. That's the first thing they're going to do, is just take it and throw it in the trash. So I have no idea why. Well, I know why. People do it to hustle. YouTube has just become a way to supplement people's income. It has become a way for people to make this their full-time job. Period, point blank. And people gonna say whatever to get you to watch, to get you to click, to get that 5 cent per click or 10 cent per click or whatever their channel generates them. They're gonna tell you guys whatever for you to watch. But that damn sure is not the reality of the situation with the Department of Veterans Affairs. All right. Who else we got here? Mr. Miles, good morning. How you doing today? So yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys tonight on Saturday Roll Call. But I just wanted to come on this morning, do a deep dive, explain how it is found on eBenefits, explain the application is to complete the purchase, not to apply for the benefit. Same with the auto grant, to explain SMCK, how that works, how it gets paid. And yeah, that's it. What else we got here? When a veteran gets 100% PNT, what is the best way to apply or get your dependents benefit, medical or college? What do you mean by the best way to apply? You mean when you get 100% and you want your child on what? You want your child to go to school? If you already 100% PNT and you have your dependents there, that's already on eBenefits. If you go to eBenefits, pull up your eBenefits account, go down to where it says additional benefits. I showed this earlier, but click on to that. It'll show you everything that your additional benefits are there for. So when it comes to your dependents, and say you want to do what with your dependent, set them up for college, then you will go down to comp and pen. First, your child, when they go to school, right? The school that they're going to, they're normally going to ask. Most of them have a VA liaison on campus. So they could go normally to that liaison. They'll pull up the info, put all the info in there, and they'll be able to see it. You normally don't have to do anything. I remember going to school, ASU, and the VA liaison office was there. All I had to do, I didn't even have to go to enrollment. I just went there. Everything was done there. I didn't have to do anything extra. The only thing they needed from me was my social, and nope, no DD-214. Yeah, it was just my social. They pulled up my information. I gave my ID card to prove who I was, and that was it. There wasn't a whole lot I needed to do. It is true that if you've been 100% for 10 years, your wife can get survivor benefit no matter what you do. Wait, no matter what you did of. Okay. Yes, after 10 years. However, when that veteran passes on, it needs to be from a service-connected disability. It isn't just an automatic thing. Okay, the veteran passed. They've been married more than 10 years or more or longer, and now the spouse can get whatever the veteran was getting. Well, first of all, the spouse is only going to get half, and it depends on whether or not it was a service-connected disability that they passed from. If they didn't pass from a service-connected disability, no, that's not something that they automatically get. It's not like Social Security. Social Security, when the recipient of Social Security passes, okay, and they got a spouse, that's completely different. With the Department of Veterans Affairs, if it wasn't from a service-connected disability, that's why I was telling you guys to apply for the PACT Act. Even if you don't think you qualify, still apply. Because if they can connect you to something that you were drinking on base, water, or whatever, right? And then you just happen to pass from some type of cause similar to that, then yes, you're covered. But if you're service connected for, let's say your back at 100%, and you pass from a heart attack, no, they're not getting anything for that. That's not how that works. Online or in person. Yeah, I was just explaining that. Let's see. eBenefits website is going away. What's the replacement? VA.gov. VA.gov is the replacement. eBenefits is still up right now, But va.gov is the replacement for e-benefits. Oh, you're completing your part up here. Yeah, that die. Yeah. Yeah. It has to be service connected. In order to receive survivor benefits, it has to be service connected. It just isn't anything. 100% P&T. Veteran has been 100% for 10 years. They can get DIC no matter what the veteran died from. No. No, that's not true. Hold up. Let me see if I can pull this up. You're talking about survivor benefits. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. And I'm going to say this again. Those of you apply for the PACT Act. Where is it? Okay. Because I know a lot of people are under this impression, and that is not true, that the veteran can die from anything and they can receive DIC. That is not true. So let me show you what this is. DIC, spouses, dependents, and parents. Okay. Eligibility. And one of these must be true. Okay. Go down and read it for yourself. I don't have to make this up. But when it comes to evidence, the veteran died from a service-connected illness or injury, active duty, service-connected illness, injury, but was eligible to receive VA So basically, if a veteran applied for compensation, they die before they awarded the compensation, then they can get DIC. But the veteran has to die from a service-connected illness or injury. So if you're thinking that you can just die from anything and the spouse is going to receive it, no, they're not. No, they're not. The veteran has to die from a service-connected disability in order for the spouse to receive DIC, period. There is no exceptions to that. This is why, once again, I'm telling you guys, apply for the PACT Act. Apply for the PACT Act. I will double check again for you. No, it's right here on their own website. Do survivor benefits apply to children, and what do they get, and how old do they need to be? I believe they get it up to their 18, or if they're in college, I think they get it up to 24. I believe they get it up to their 24, if I'm not mistaken. I'm almost positive about that. And then here's 15 years. You must be married to a service member within 15 years of the discharge of the period of military service. What is this for? Eligibility. Okay. Yeah. Hey, I ain't gonna read all this. I ain't gonna be on here all day. But look, go to DIC on the VA's website, va.gov. Okay. Go to va.gov. All of this is right here. When it comes to evidence, I remember this distinctly because I remember my ex asking them this question distinctly. And that guy told him, nope, they have to die from a service-connected disability. Let's see. If veterans eligible was due to rating disability total, they must have the following rating: at least 10 years. Oh, wait, excuse me. Hold up. If a veteran eligibility was due to totally rated disability, to totally disabling, they must have one of the following: 10 years before death, since the release, 5 years, for at least 1 year before the death. They were in prison. No, it made it impossible for them to work. I'm going to ask my buddy about this part. If the veteran's eligibility was due to a rating of totally disabled, they must have had the rating for at least 10 years. I got to call somebody about this part. I don't remember this part, but I do remember this part, that they have to die from a service-connected disability. But this part, if the veteran's eligibility was due to a rating of totally disabled, you must have it at least 10 years before death. Since they're released from active duty at least 5 years immediately before their death, or for at least 1 year before their death if they were a prisoner of war. Yeah, that one, there's not many people that are going to qualify for that one. Totally disabled meaning the veteran's injuries made it impossible for them to work. Okay, now I'm looking at something different. This part I have not seen. This is the part I knew about. This part right here. So this is basically saying if you had it for at least 10 years before your death, your spouse should be able to get it regardless then. That's the way I'm interpreting this. But I have a buddy that works at the VA. I'm going to ask about this Monday and get back with you guys. I don't remember this part. This is a new part I don't recall. Learn something new every day. This one I got to find out. I'm not 100% on that. This is what I read too. The child has to be a minor or helpless. Yeah, let's see. You're right. So it says the VA website, you need to be 100% P&T for no more than 10 years. It doesn't matter when you die from your spouse entitled to DIC benefits. Okay. Yeah, I don't recall this part. MT. Okay. Read the next part. Yeah, I don't recall that part. I remember my wife asking distinctly, and that guy told her, he has to die for a service-connected disability in order for you to get DIC. But this part right here that I read, after 10 years, I've never heard that part before. I got to ask about that one. I think maybe MT husband is probably on active duty and she's confused. No, she's probably, that part I don't, but from reading that, as long as you've had it for at least 10 years, right? And you are totally disabled, meaning you're 100%, whether IU, whatever, then you should be able to get it according to that part of it. And I don't recall that part. Let's see. Do you have to apply for the PACT Act if the VA fills out a questionnaire during your VA visit on the PACT Act? I believe you still have to apply. Filling out a questionnaire. Did you actually take an exam? Did you actually go through the process with the exam? Let's see. If you're an ex was concerned about that, that would be a red flag to me. Okay, MT works at the VA. Okay, so MT, am I interpreting that correctly? That if you 10 years, after 10 years of having your service-connected disability, it doesn't matter what you die from after 10 years. Hopefully she'll respond to that. Because from what was always explained to me and from what I've always known, it had to be a service-connected disability. This paragraph here at the bottom that says 10 years and totally disabled is 100%. That's totally disabled, whether IU or P&T, for at least 10 years, then that changes the game. I'm hoping she responds to that because, she works at the VA. Yeah, I'm going to ask my buddy about this one on Monday. I've never seen that, or at least I've never read that before. I was hoping MT would respond real quick. I don't know if she's dropped off or what, but that's a game changer right there. That is. There's probably a lot of people out there who don't know that to apply for DIC. Real talk. If you know someone and their spouse passed, because this is what they used to tell people. I'm telling y'all the truth. This is what they used to tell people. If you die, if your spouse died and it wasn't service connected, you're not entitled to anything. But this statement right here, after 10 years of being disabled, You can get it for anything. I guarantee you there's people out there right now that don't know this, that don't know that they can apply for DIC. Yes, Markel, that's what I was telling you. I'm going to double check and get a little more info for you. Yeah, please do that, because that's one that's new to me. I've never heard that. I've never seen that. That's new to me. That was my understanding when I read it as well. Okay. My apologies. I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong, that is great. Hell, I did not know that. So it's 10 years. I'm sure, man, if you guys know some spouses out there, and they were probably told the same thing I was years ago, and say they died from a heart attack, and I gave the example of the back, and they died from a heart attack, they probably qualify for DIC and don't know it. So if your spouse is foreign, yeah, that doesn't matter. About as far now, as far as VA goes, doesn't matter. Social Security, that's a whole different deal. I used to think that as well. I'm telling you, man, this part right here, I don't recall this part right here. I do not recall any of this right here. What I remember is from here. That is a game changer right there. Great info, Markel. My stepmom qualified for DIC after you told me about this. No problem, blank slate. Let's see. No exam, but my VA records show all my answers and information referencing the PACT Act. Yeah, I would ask Michael to be sure. I would definitely ask. I wouldn't just rely on that. I would say, hey, am I enrolled in the PACT Act? If I'm not enrolled, what do I need to do to enroll in the PACT Act? But I'm telling anybody and everybody, if you're currently in the States and you can enroll in the PACT Act, just do it. Doesn't matter what base you were on. Doesn't matter if you were nowhere near to enroll. Just enroll. Get enrolled in the PACT Act. I'm telling you, this is going to come back and save you at some point. So if you're a surviving child over the age of 26, the VA has passed. I'm sorry, the vet has passed. Do they qualify at 26? I don't think so. MT, if you still here, I don't think so at 26, unless they're still in school somehow, or what would be the other one? At 26, I don't think so, Mr. Miles. I mean, they would have to have been in school, still be in school, or if the child themselves had a disability, like they had, I don't know, like they were on disability themselves, and the parent was taking care of them still. But other than that, man, I don't think so. Not at 26. What's up, Howard? Let's see. So if they can get DIC, then life insurance is not that important at that point. Yeah, it is. Yeah, man, you want life insurance. Yeah. Okay, so if you don't get life insurance, bro, how you going to get buried? Because they're not getting the full amount. You do realize that, right? Whatever the vet said, the veteran is getting $4,000 a month. The spouse in DIC is not going to get $4,000. They're going, at best, they're going to get half. They'll get $2,000. They still got to bury you, man. So you still want to get life insurance. Life insurance is like a one-time payment of what? Whatever you pick, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, or $40,000. Let's see. They changed that 20 years ago. I've been disabled, better 100% PNT for 35 years. Okay. Bro, that was what was explained to me. I remember that distinctly sending that man off. Yeah, if he don't die from a service connected, they will not pay it. At 26, they are considered grown ass men. Yeah, like I said, unless they were disabled, because there's a clause. If they were disabled, that's different. That's different when they're disabled. If the 26-year-old is a disabled person, that's different. But if they're just a regular person, yeah, I don't think so. Thanks for your help in your videos. You're great to help better. It's all good. I'm about to get more insurance. About the 26-year-old, yeah, MT. What? That's the only one I could come up with. I don't think so. 500K of term for 140 and old. Can you clarify that a little bit more, Darth? I got the 500K for term life insurance. So I'm saying, I guess you're saying 140 a month. I guess that's what you're saying. If you could be a little bit more clear with that. Quick question for you guys who are in here right now. Have you all signed up for VA for life? Oh, you're saying I'm old. Okay. So you got 540K. You got 500,000 of term life for 140. It says, check my previous chat message. MT. Let's see. I used to think that as well. I don't see any other messages here, MT, other than you put this one. I used to think so as well. And then you put this one about the 26-year-old. And then it just says, check your previous messages. But all the other messages was this. Go to the next paragraph, keep reading. I don't have anything else on here from you, MT, for that. Yeah, I don't have these. Those are all the messages I got from you on here. I don't have any other messages. If the 26-year-old child still goes to school, will get paid till they then not 24. I'm pretty sure if the 26-year-old, if they're not in school, they're not disabled, I'm pretty sure they're not going to get anything. What is this? Per month. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. You're probably paying 140 a month for 500K. What company is this with? If you don't mind me asking, what company are you using? From what I recall reading, if you're 100% under 2 years, you must die of that certain right. Over 10 years, don't have any disabilities. Don't have any disabilities. Your dependents will be eligible for DIC. Got it. Yeah, we were just reading that. Any other questions? But MT, I don't have anything else from you other than the ones I've already shown. So if you wrote something, I don't know if YouTube blocked it or what, but I don't see anything else here from you. Got it. 10 years. Darth, what company are you using to get that 500K for 140 a month? What company is that? Because there's a bunch of you guys who have left me comments regarding that VA for life, where you're getting much better term life insurance policies versus what the VA is offering. For some of you guys are getting it for much less. Some of you guys are, and I mean, like with this one, 500K for 140. I don't know how old you are, a month, but it's like some of those with the VA plan only get 10,000. I mean, that for what you paying. But again, those with the VA though, just to be fair, you're not doing any type of exams. You're not having to go through any kind of eligibility process, whether you're a smoker, a drinker, or none of that. You're just applying and you're paying into it for 2 years. Okay. Once you pay in it for 2 years, then you're good. That's the difference though between some of these plans and the VA plan, where a plan like that, I'm sure you had to do an exam. They had to look at whatever your other injuries or disabilities were. But with the VA, they're not looking at anything. They're just going to take whatever you got and say, okay, you got all these service-connected disabilities, you got this issue, you got that issue, doesn't matter. Give us this, pay into it for 2 years, you good to go. We're going to pay it regardless. That's what the VA's plan is. So MT says, I think it's blocking my chat. Okay, because yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't see anything else. Let's see. He probably got it when he was young. Don't know. Yep, yeah. So that's the thing. Is like, even though those plans are much higher, they had to go through some kind of exam or something in order to get that rate. Now, for you guys who have all kinds of issues, yeah, it's going to be difficult to find a plan like that at that rate. Everybody's not going to be eligible for that. It's just not going to happen. Well, I was hoping MT's message could get through, but I guess it's blocked for whatever reason. I have no idea what she said, but they definitely blocked it because I have no other messages here from MT other than what I've shown already. We appreciate maybe our worded. We need code. Yeah, you too. Definitely need some kind of code. Okay. Oh, MT, while you're here. Okay, while you're here, MT, if you're still here, because you work at the VBA. When it comes to, you may not know that though. Well, maybe you do know, but when it comes to the minimum for SMCK, the rating, it needs to be a minimum of 40%. Yes or no? Let's see. I will log in to my computer when I get back home and get back. Yeah, we're going to tell you what, MT. We'll talk about this more tonight on the Saturday roll call because I just wanted to get on, man, to do a deep dive on the auto grant and people on YouTube telling people to just apply with that application when that application is not for that. We'll get more into it tonight. I don't want to keep going because I've been on an hour already and we're going to be on tonight. So hopefully this was helpful to a lot of people. Hopefully a lot of people learned something new from today's discussion. But this is what this show and this podcast is all about, is learning, giving information, and helping each other learn about who's eligible for what and what you are entitled to. So for sure tonight, hopefully MT will be back tonight and we can go over more of this in depth. Mr. Miles, I'm gonna try to find out for you on the 26-year-old, but I'm pretty positive they're not gonna be able to do anything at 26. Now, they were 16, whole different story. But at 26, yeah, I don't think they're going to be entitled to anything. But for all of you out there who know a spouse, male or female, their spouse died, they had their service connection after 10 years. After 10 years, they were 100%. Doesn't matter if it was IU or PNT. After 10 years, they probably qualify for DIC and don't even know it. Don't even know it. Because if they were told the same thing we were told, which is you had to die from a service-connected disability only, then yeah, they wouldn't know. So if you know someone in that position, talk to them. Show them on the VA's website. Go to DIC on the va.gov's website and show them, okay? Don't just tell them, show them. And that way they can apply for a benefit and get a benefit they probably didn't even know they were entitled to. All right, guys? All right, so that's going to be it for this video, man. I appreciate everybody watching. Look forward to seeing you guys tonight. So until then, I'm out. Peace. Enjoy the rest of your day.